nobody should be afraid of a little bit of hard work, some sweat and grease and dirt. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, grandmas. Today is Friday, September 15th, and we woke up this morning without power. Wah, wah. Should I do the trombone, Mom? It's like not focusing at all. I'm going to make a bowl of mango cereal with the last of the grandma mango from Pine Island. Previous owner had stripped these Phillips heads, so I'm just drilling them out right now. Not too fun. They hold the rotor on, and they're not completely necessary. They should have put a little bit of anti-seize on them before they put them in. Now they're stuck. All right, I'm taking a break on these bolts. Just try to remove the whole assembly. I gotta take out this thing, and then this ball joint thing here is not easy to get out. And then the upper arm. Tie rod's off. Taking these two bolts off is pretty easy right here. Just getting this CV, the axle, out of the spindle is like proving the most difficult. I've been smacking it with a hammer. I've been using that puller on it, and I'm getting movement on it. I'm just having difficulty getting it all off. And then that ball joint should lift right out. And I have removed, I can still feel play between the hub and the bearing assembly. That has nothing to do with the rotor. Just by grabbing it here and pulling on it a little bit, I can feel some play in it that's not supposed to be there. So I'm pretty sure that's the problem. We're gonna try to drill these bad boys out, and if you can tell, power has been restored. So I'll show you what we sold yesterday, just one order. If you saw this on Instagram, I picked it up for $2 in Alabama. I did pop into an Alabama thrift store. I didn't get it on film, but I showed it on Instagram. $2, sold it for $36 ship. And thanks everyone on Instagram that responded to my question. These are indeed called bar mats. I forgot the name of them. I was Googling like Pabst Blue Ribbon rubber spill mat or something, I don't know. But I couldn't figure it out. But thanks everyone who responded. These are bar mats. And I do have my safety glasses on this time because shards of metal are flying everywhere. And I'm also spraying the hole with WD-40. I was tightening the bit and it like ate my glove. Good gosh. After an awful wrestling match with this, I have freed up one of the bolts and screwed off the other bolt's head. I got the head of the bolt here. And this is that ugly guy that I just got out. This one I still have to drill out of the hub. But let you hear that grinding, or that unsmooth hub. There's still just a micro amount of play between the hub and the bearing, and that's all that it takes to throw everything out. And the only thing this thing is touching is the bearing. So you know there's some play in the bearing. Walmart extraction kit for the win. That bad boy out. That is super rusted and locked in on there. I'm gonna probably put some anti-seize on the next one that goes in there. So one of the things we had to do on Mom's Prius is clean the throttle body. So I got some throttle and air intake cleaner, and they wanted us to do a treatment on the electronic fuel injector. So I got this Lucas upper cylinder and fuel injector cleaners. Blah, 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 blah. We're gonna pour some of that into the gas tank, and then Mom's gonna do the throttle body clean. I'm gonna show her how to do it. So down here is the clamp. So you're just gonna clamp that clamp.
Oh, I didn't get clamp where it was.
That clamp right there? Yeah, you're gonna squish it together so you can pull the throttle body off. Oh, that looks like it's it. There you go. And then see how it clipped and then locks?
Hooray.
And then you pull this off.
Okay.
That's your intake, and it exposes your, here you can wiggle it off.
Just pull it straight up?
Yeah, just wiggle it.
Yeah, right.
See all the carbon buildup on the top.
Oh yeah, that little little brown line.
Carbon, yeah, there's carbon buildup on that throttle body.
Okay.
So that's when you get your shop rag and your throttle body cleaner, and you're going to spray it on there.
On my rag?
Spray it on your rag, and you can flick that. You can flick it up and down. It flips this way.
Okay.
And then you can press on it, and
I got a fat hand.
If you want more room, we could take this off.
I did get this.
Do you want more room? And then basically all we're doing is going around the outside and cleaning the surface of the throttle body. There's some buildup there. It can cause sticky throttle. I need to do it on my van as well because I've had 2 stall outs and I think it's from the throttle body. We took off one more hose just with this clamp right here to give Mom more access to the throttle body. Plus we can film it a little bit better. See that black ring around it? It should not look like that. A lot cleaner in there, but we're gonna reinstall this stuff and
Put her back together.
fire her up, let her idle and burn off maybe some of that.
It's in the right spot though.
Yeah, the last part of the clip, you just squeeze it together and then it will unhook. I'm gonna add a little over 3 ounces of this stuff. And it's supposed to do some fuel injector cleaning, whatever. Increase miles per gallon. We'll see. I don't believe it, but we'll see. And the Kia is gonna get about 6 ounces of this stuff. See if that does anything to my idling and gas mileage and whatnot. So my grandma said that the mechanic down in Pine Island, Chuck, the guy with the funny mailbox, they will press in both front bearings for 40 bucks. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna get off the left side knuckle. Might as well do them both while I'm out here in mechanic mode. So we'll get that knuckle pulled and then the car will stay on jacks until I get down there. They still don't have power at the mechanic shop. I have to wait a couple days if they don't get power today, but we'll get both front bearings done. Each bearing I think is like 35 bucks from Napa plus 40 bucks. So both bearings for like 75 bucks is not a bad deal. They charge my grandma 500 bucks. And from what I learned yesterday, I spray anti-seize on that nut and then I'm gonna heat it up for a little bit with my propane torch, and then I'm gonna use my custom Yakima roof racks breaker bar. I opened up one end and this is a steel bar that I'm gonna use to open it up. Hopefully it'll only take me 5 or 10 minutes.
Few moments later.
It's moving. We got it, even though that was kind of messy. Video is sponsored by MacGyver Yakima. Previous owner did not strip these rotor screws. These ones look good. And this left rotor is smooth as butter because the bearing on it isn't toast yet and it isn't vibrating against the pads, creating that uneven groovy wear that I have on the right side. I am having so much trouble getting this axle broken free. I've actually stripped the threads a little bit. I'll have to rethread it. And I did what you're not supposed to do, which is bludgeon the end of it, which fattens it up and makes it more difficult for the nut to go on. I have since stripped half of the nut out and stripped about half of my axle threads. Not good, but we are working on it. And this clicking is it actually pushing the splines through now. It's the sound of progress. Yeah! Huzzah! We got it. Oiliest hands on these. More so than the timing belt, it feels like. This was physically harder than the timing belt. The amount of wax I had to do to loosen some stuff up. Definitely. Different type of labor. I have absolutely demolished my hub pulling tool. I have smacked this into oblivion. My wrench has eaten it up. There was a point on the end of this at one point, no pun intended, there was a point here. $5 at a garage sale. Now I know how to use it. Might not be able to use it again. So what have I learned from this experience? Why did I waste my time doing this? I didn't know that this was called a steering tie rod. Now I do. This is a CV axle and a spline. This is a lower ball joint. I still don't know what this is called. Brake caliper, rotor. The other thing that I took off was called a knuckle. But if I could do this all over again, I would be more careful with these threads because either I'll have to replace this part of the CV joint, or I might have to entirely replace the CV joint, the CV axle. Not quite sure. I'll try to rethread this. And do not bluntly hit this part with a hammer unless you have a grinder to smooth it out. That's my main issue right here. I'm going to have to rethread this or replace it. It's gonna be interesting, that's for sure. Whenever I put stuff together, I'm gonna put anti-seize on all of the seizable parts or a little bit of grease or something so it doesn't get moisture in there and seize. Mainly these splines right here, anti-seize is going on that because that was awful to get off. And there's still like gunk in it. I'm gonna have to clean that out. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me today. It was a car day. If you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up. 7th habit, sharpen the saw. Learn more and be better than you were yesterday. Leave any encouraging comments or car comments and I'll talk to you guys in the morning. Bye.